Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm going to do a little refresh on this. Before I get started, I wanted to kind of tell you what I've observed. And by the way, I'm holding as I talk a 22 bullet. This is we went target practicing this weekend, and I've got a Ruger 22 long rifle. And I had put a banana clip in it because I wanted my son to get to shoot at the targets and see if he could hit targets really fast. It was really kind of cool. But anyway, I wanted to just tell you briefly my just observations about crypto and what I have learned over the last 5 years or so, just observing. I think that the people that cover crypto pretty typically fall into a couple of categories. And I think this is one of the major things that separates the people that have been following Ripple and XRP versus the rest of the space. I think that the first camp is pretty basic. I think that they see things as they think they are. They see green candles, they follow coin market cap, and they're telling their audiences and they talk about how crypto is going to get you a Lambo and get you rich and all this. I think the other camp, especially those of us that are a little older, see things. We've looked at this and observed, and we see a lot more going on than just green candles. We see connections. We see deep connections to much bigger things that are going on in play. We don't take things we're not just looking at the surface of the green candles and what's the latest thing going up in price. We're looking at where the connections lie and who the powerful are and what kind of effect on markets they have. And then you know back to the other people that they're just looking for the next price, and they see a company, they think, oh, okay, well, this is a company and they got a product, and that product is, ooh, that product could put this one in danger and they're not looking at, wait a minute, what kind of foundations have been laid over the course of these last few years? Well, so I see a lot of things, people talking about things when they don't know what they're talking about, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about here in a second. But that's why I wanted to lay that out. So let's go to the surface. The surface is XRP is at 66 cents. It is up 9.68%. The surface is that Bitcoin is up 38,000. The surface is that Bitcoin is thermodynamic, this juggernaut, and it's the greatest thing ever. That's all surface stuff. That's stuff that's easy for them to sell. That's stuff they can say, oh, look, see, Bitcoin's on top and it's gone up a lot. And therefore, well, that's surface stuff. That's basic stuff for the masses. But it's not the truth of what's really going on. The truth of what's really going on, you have to have really seen the connections and what's been going on behind the scenes. And that's kind of what a lot of people in XRP, I think, have made a study of. That's why it's the smartest people in crypto that follow Ripple and XRP. Okay, so let's move along. First, I saw the market starting to move, and it is moving. We're at, this thing had gotten down as low as I think 1.3 trillion. Now it's back up to 1.5 trillion, almost like someone has flipped a switch. And I saw this last night, or I can't remember if it was in the middle of the night or what, but I had mentioned this. No, it's last night the market started to take off. And I said, someone must know something, because I think someone does know something. And we talked about this last week. When this thing starts to take off, I think that what always happens is the buying begins before big announcements and things. And we got a lot of big things coming. This week we've got William Hinman coming up as far as his deposition. Okay, so this is Ben Armstrong. This is BitBoy, right? And he's the one that just recently has, through his mega inside sources, has been starting to talk about XRP. And I told you, any of these guys you see that are just showing up to XRP now, they're doing it because they know about, they're seeing views and viewership. And then what they'll do a lot of times is they'll say, maybe by accident sometimes, a couple of positive things about XRP, and then all of a sudden everybody starts watching them. Then they say, hey, whoa, this gets a lot of views. And then they really start covering it, okay? So I don't think he's any exception. He says, you guys, and by the way, I met him in Miami, very nice guy, and I liked him. I mean, he's like one of those people you immediately like. You guys have made fun of me for weeks because of my sources on Bitcoin. Yes, we made fun of the inside sources. Mid-July, I told you for 6 weeks was the jump point. I said somewhere between the 10th and the 20th would start upwards. On the 20th, we were below 30K. I told you the volume would come out of nowhere. So this is from his deep inside sources. Now, he also did this little clip, okay? Let me hit the refresh on that. He did this little clip that I wanted to show, and it starts off with him giving you his updated XRP price prediction. Listen to this.
Sitting at a bargain 59. Want to update my previous XRP prediction of $12 this year to $22 by 2022. As of this recording, XRP is sitting at a bargain 59 cents.
I want to comment on his price prediction. Look, $22 by 2022. If this SEC thing is resolved, here's what I want you to remember. If the SEC thing is resolved, it does not just open up the ability for you and I to trade XRP and all of that. It gives the green light to the banks, the institutions, the big boys, and all of a sudden they can hold this stuff. And they'll be able to hold it, whereas nothing else, according to the SEC, we know how the SEC goes back and, well, that's not the official position of the SEC. Well, they've made it clear, if you really dig down, that it has never been the official position that either Bitcoin or Ethereum are non-security. It's never been the official position. They kept themselves open there. And so my point is that if XRP all of a sudden gets a clarity that none of the others have, it is on like Donkey Kong, and $22 you could wipe your butt with, okay? I'm just telling you that's because it opens up, anybody can buy. I mean, just look at the market cap of Bitcoin, and that's just because some of them think they can hold it right now. What if they knew they could hold it and knew it was faster, cheaper, more scalable, and all the other things? All right, I'll let you watch the rest of this, and then I'll make a point.
Only a quick word about XRP's slightly more respectable, slightly faster, but distant cousin, XDC of the XFin network. Without the shadow of the SEC following them around like a bad smell, these guys have been quietly making inroads as another enterprise-focused blockchain with heavyweight potential. This hybrid blockchain was built with a view to change the global trade and finance game using a fast, efficient, decentralized infrastructure solution. XinFin stands for Exchange Infinite. Powered by its native token, XinFin Digital Contracts, or XDC, it's a hybrid network that combines the transparency of public blockchains with the kind of speed and security you'd find on private networks. It achieves this using a permission-based consensus mechanism in a public state that's shared by all networks. This allows enterprises to share basic data across networks with ease. Meanwhile, XDC's private state can be used to securely transmit sensitive financial data, with the protocol acting as a confirmation layer for cross-border payments. Plus, the XDC token working as a settlement layer, XinFin has attracted the attention of major players like R3's Corda. Corda is a distributed ledger platform that allows secure, interoperable communication between networks, and it has the support of some of the world's largest banks. With XDC now being used as a settlement token within the Corda system, this will provide a bridge to a wider range of ERC20 tokens, of which XRP would be an obvious candidate for adoption. But XDC has been making impressive headway with little to no fanfare. We've got a serious team unencumbered by ongoing legal disputes. Their partnership with Corda means they've got their foot in the door of global finance. Will there be an XDC army forming soon? Maybe even an Air Force? Like any Dick Wolf show, I see plenty of spin-off potential.
Okay, so like I said, someone sees the views he can get, but what he doesn't understand, because he hasn't been around this side of the pond, so to speak, is that he doesn't understand R3, and he doesn't understand how they're involved with Ripple and XRP, and how the CTO of R3 is under an NDA and can't talk about Ripple. He doesn't understand Yoshitaka Katal. He doesn't know about SBI Holdings. He doesn't know a lot of the things that we've been talking about for 3 years here. And so all he sees is surface. He sees a company. He sees it as a competitor. He doesn't know about a lawsuit between R3 and Ripple that was resolved quietly. He doesn't know any of these things. All he's talking about is surface. Oh, here's one digital currency as a competitor to another digital currency. He doesn't know about all of these things. And that's the reason. There's a reason that the Bitcoin and all that stuff is so surface, because it's easy. And maybe that was the whole plan all along, was to bring the world into digital assets with a very simple concept of Bitcoin. Hey, libertarian, we're going to change the world. Well, I got news for you, as I'll show you in a minute. Bitcoin and Ethereum, for those of you that still think that Bitcoin and Ethereum is this libertarian movement and wasn't something that was put out by the people that run the world, you can forget it. I mean, I've been around for a while now, and if you still believe that, then my igloo in Georgia is still for sale, and it's still summer, and it gets at least 90 to 95 degrees around here every day, but it's a great igloo. Okay, Michael at VAL5 links Amazon readying to accept Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and Bitcoin Cash according to Insider. Then we've got this. Flare tweeted this out. All exchanges that are supporting the distribution of Flare will also receive SGB to the same address that they provide for Flare distribution, but with a different chain ID. They can distribute SGB to their customers when and if they feel comfortable to do so. So in other words, whoever your provider is, they're going to receive your SGB. It's just a matter of whether or not they distribute it to you. Okay, so this will be interesting to see how this unfolds. Now, I wanted to show you this real XRP, and this goes to what I was talking about earlier. How I feel like in XRP we've looked around a lot more than what all these other people are doing. They're just hitting the surface stuff. And this is a great example because Real XRP Boy put this out. So let me let you watch. This is a clip of, I think it's Chris Larson back in 2013.
Pretty regulated space. To what extent are you facing headwinds like that?
So you're absolutely right. I mean, law enforcement regulators are right to be concerned about any new technology, but we worked a lot with law enforcement. We were just in DC this week, for example. We work with Promontory Financial. So we think that regulators will, if you can express the potential of these to really help business and commerce, and at the same time show that they're actually more transparent systems for catching the bad guys and eliminating bad things that can happen with financial systems, we think that's a win-win, and we think that is the case with these new exciting technologies.
Pretty regular.
So let me tell you what I've learned in life, and this is what I'm talking about with all that surface stuff versus connections and whatnot. I've learned in my own town, someone with connections will be treated completely different than someone with no connections. Someone with wealth is treated completely differently than someone with nothing. Okay, that's just the way life works. And at 47 years old, I pay attention to those types of things because it's not just about having a better product even. It's not just about having a better service. You can go in. You could come into my town today and try to open. You name it, any kind of business you want. Well, there is someone in that business in this town who has been there for a while and has accumulated a lot of money and has a lot of connections and knows the people on city council and knows this and knows that. And those people can and would most likely put up roadblocks to you being able to gain any size or compete with them. It happens every day in every city in the country or anywhere in the world. That's just the way life works. That's the reason. That's one of the core reasons that I locked onto Ripple so early. Now, Chris Larson in that clip that you just played, because I'm going to round this point out, the clip that I just played, he talks about Promontory Financial. Well, I see, BitBoy may hear Promontory Financial and never think a thing about it. I don't. When I see Promontory Financial first, I go to their website and I see that they're an IBM company. Okay, and I know that IBM is at the very center of all of this crypto stuff. Well, I also remember that Greg Kidd, who was one of the first 10 guys who happened to hear about Ripple at a card game, he was also at Promontory Financial. Consultant, director. Here's what else I know. I know, because this is Promontory Financial's Wikipedia, I know that Promontory Financial, the news media has sometimes referred to Promontory as a shadow regulator for Wall Street. Here's what else I know about Promontory right here. Quote, no one, this is from CNBC, I think it's back in 2012, no one likes their regulator right now, however good they are. And Gary is good, said Eugene Ludwig, head of Promontory Financial Group, a former bank regulator who knew Mr. Gensler from their days in the Clinton administration. A new identity, Of course, they're talking about Gary Gensler, who runs the SEC now. Here's what else I know about Promontory Financial. I know that in March 14th, 2014, Karen Gifford came to Ripple as one of their regulatory affairs people, I think. And she was at the Federal Reserve and then at Promontory Financial Group, the shadow regulator. What I also know is that Zoe Cruz, who's on Ripple's board of directors, was also a senior advisor at Promontory Financial Group. I also know that Antoinette O'Gorman, who was at Ripple as well and is now Chief Compliance Officer at PolySign, was also at Promontory Financial Group. Here's what else I know. I know that Joseph Lubin, one of the founders of Ethereum, was a software engineering guy at Goldman Sachs. He was in software engineering, finance, and ding, 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 cryptography were central during employment with Goldman Sachs. I know that he went on to just happen to bump into Vitalik Buterin and start Ethereum too. Okay? All the world's a stage, folks, and I believe that in crypto you have one side who says, hey, the Bitcoin price is going up, let's go get a Bitcoin pizza, and that's basic surface stuff. But I think that what's really going on for anyone who's really been around is this kind of stuff. This is what's really going on. All of that BS about, oh, the green candle or Dogcoin and Elon Musk joking around about, that's all silliness. The adults in the room are watching the things I've just shown you. And the adults in the room are right and have been right all along. And nobody's gonna, just like when they formed the Federal Reserve, nobody came out and admitted to any of it until I think maybe 10 years later. That was when the books were written on the truth of what really happened. And I think it's probably going to be the difference this time is that we have social media. And so the truth is being told right now, but we're called things like conspiracy theorists and all this kind of stuff. And that's okay. I'm comfortable with that. But that's the fact, Jack. Everything I just laid out for you. And so, yeah, they can talk about, ooh, the XRP killer. Yeah, whatever. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that there is no XRP killer. There's going to be a handful of winners and losers. And that handful is probably going to include XDC. I think most certainly it is. But that handful of winners and losers is going to be determined by the powers that be, who also, in my opinion, created Bitcoin. It's going to be determined by those powers that be, and XRP is going to be one, XDC is going to be one, XLM is going to be one, Algo is going to be one. There's another handful of them, so don't be offended if I didn't name yours. Hedera Hashgraph is going to be one. I'm trying to think of all of them off the top of my head. Cardano, I believe, is going to be one. Ethereum 2.0, if it's able to compete with all the others that are coming, will be one. Bitcoin, at best, is going to be allowed to be a store of value because it can't do anything else because proof of work doesn't work. Thanks for listening.